Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Jericho here, and today I'm going to show you how to make some great pyramids. Alright, so today, right now, what you're looking at is I've got 3 pyramids here on the screen. Actually, it's 2 pyramids and an obelisk. To make these, we're going to do the same thing we did before with our CAD castle. We're going to do a sketch, extrude, and repeat. We're going to add 2 more features to this time. We're going to add the dimension tool. And we're going to add the draft button. So to do that, let's go ahead and start off with a blank part studio. You can just open up your CAD castle sketch, hit the plus sign down here, and click create a new part studio, and that'll get you to a new blank place where you can create a new environment. We're going to go ahead, just like before, we're going to start with a new sketch. As always, we're starting a new sketch. This time we're going to put our sketch on the top plane, so I can just click top right over here on the side, or I can click the top plane here in the workspace. Click the top plane. You can see we've now created a sketch 1 on the top plane, and we want to view normal to that. We're going to turn this looking straight down on it, so I'm going to tap the N key on my keyboard, N like Nancy. And let's look straight down, and of course I don't need to be looking at those planes right now, so I can tap the P as in Papa key on the keyboard, and that'll make that disappear, so I got a nice clean space to work with. I can get those planes back again just by tapping the P again. So let's go ahead and create our first feature on this sketch. We're going to come up to the rectangle tool, and I'm going to actually choose the center point rectangle because I want to put my rectangle right in the center of the space. So I'm going to hit the center point rectangle, and then I'll click on the origin. That's the little dot in the middle. It's where the X, Y, and Z planes all meet. And then we're going to click to any size we want. Before, when we did our CAD castles, we did whatever size shape or whatever size feature you felt like. But today we're going to go ahead and create these to a specific size. Because the fun part about CAD is being able to make exactly what you want and get it exactly the way you expect it. There are dimensions on the side here, but if I try to click on them, I'm likely to wind up creating more rectangles. So I don't want to do that, so I'm going to hit Control Z twice to get rid of those rectangles. Control Z on your keyboard, the Control button and the Z button will undo your last action. To add those dimensions, I've got a couple of options. I can hit the D key on the keyboard, or I can click the little dimension tool here at the top of the screen. If you hover over a tool, you'll see that next to the name will pop up, and then often in that name, next to the name, you'll see parentheses and a letter. That's the keyboard shortcut. So I tap the D key on the keyboard, then click and release on the line, and click and release again, and that will generate a dimension for me, at which point I can just come in and type in whatever value I want. So I'm going to make a 2-inch square. So we'll take 2, enter, and then we'll measure the height of my square. You'll see that that's 2, enter. So now I have a 2-inch wide, like 2-inch high square. I'm going to finish that sketch by clicking the green check mark and go back to my 3D space. My 3D space, I'm looking at my top, front, right isometric. And let's go ahead and extrude that. Hit the extrude button right here and click the area that we want to extrude. Now this is what we've done before already, but now we're going to go ahead and give it a draft. We're going to make it that pyramid. So to get that taper right here, it's called a draft. Hit that draft button, and right now you can see if I pull on this, it's getting bigger, and we want it to get smaller. So I'm going to go ahead and hit the opposite direction. If you type in a negative right here, it's not going to work. It doesn't like that. So we'll just hit the opposite direction. It makes it smaller. And we'll go ahead and make this first pyramid 30 degrees. And there you have it. So there's my first pyramid. It's 30 degrees. Got a 30-degree angle side. And it is 2 inches on each side of the base. So a 2-inch square, extruded at a 30-degree angle until the taper comes to a fine point. All right. Let's go ahead and do that a couple more times just for practice. So we're going to go ahead and create a new sketch. We're add it to the top plane again, so I can just click on top right here. Hit the top button. Zoom on out so I can see what I'm doing. Let's get another rectangle. This time I'll go to a corner rectangle. So the first one was 2 inches. Let's do a 3-inch rectangle. And hit that D key on the keyboard. Click and release on one of the sides. We'll make that 3 inches. Sometimes it's difficult to click and release on a line. Sometimes it doesn't work for you. So you can click and release and get a measurement between two features. So I can measure the distance from this line to this line by clicking and release, click and release, and move that mouse over to where I want to be. I like to put the dimensions off of the object and roughly evenly spaced between the arrowheads. I'm going to make that a 3 and finish that sketch. And repeat. Let's go ahead and I'm going to extrude that up a little bit. Let's go ahead and make this one like an obelisk, like the Washington Monument. So we're going to extrude that. So sketch, extrude. Click that space. We'll pull it up a little bit. Zoom out a little. How far do we want to zoom it out? Let's go about 8 inches. And we're going to give it a draft. Reverse that direction. About 3 degrees. That looks pretty good. Leave it 3 degrees and finish it up. So now I have an 8-inch tall rectangular tapered prism with a flat spot on the top. So we're going to go ahead and make that into an obelisk. We'll click on the top and add our pyramid section on top. Hit the N key to look normal to the screen. And we're going to take that corner rectangle again. Hover over the corner of the face of the object until you see that orange dot pop up. Click and release. Move the mouse and click and release on the other opposite corner and finish that out. Let's go ahead and extrude that. We'll click on the face that we want to extrude. We're going to give it a draft angle just like we did before. Remember last time we did the pyramid, it was 30 degrees. So let's do it 30 degrees. Hit that enter key. Oh, that's the wrong direction. So hit the opposite direction button and pull the arrow until you get a nice fine point. And finish that extrusion. And now we have 2 pyramids. Pyramid here, pyramid here. Pyramid up on top of base makes an obelisk. We'll do 1 more pyramid. Again, hit the new sketch button. We're going to put that sketch on the top view again. Like clicking the top on the view cube. Let's create another rectangle. This time let's make that rectangle 2.5 by 2.5. So again, hit the D key on your keyboard or click the dimension tool up on the toolbar. Click and release on one of the sides and 2.5. So type in 2.5, enter, and we'll do 2.5 on the other side as well. Hit that finish green check mark. So we can finish the sketch. And we're going to extrude that just like we did before. Click the extrude button. This time let's go ahead and extrude at a slightly shallower angle. Last 2 times we extruded with a draft of 30 degrees. Let's do 15 degrees and change that angle. Oops, I accidentally exited out too early. No big deal. Just double click on extrude and pull on that arrow until you get what you're looking for. Ladies and gentlemen, that's creating pyramids with the sketch, extrude, and draft feature, and that's the basics of adding the dimensions to your sketches and drawings. Hope that worked out for you and had a good time. From here, you can go ahead and add this type of feature to any of your models, like, for example, like I did here on top of my castle, adding these spires to my castle. Keep playing, keep working, don't give up. As always, keep being awesome.